Hey everyone, I am Priyanshu Agrawal and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now we are going to see the second question of today's Lead Code Weekly Contest 444. So which is implement router. This is more like a implementation based question. So let's see what is this question and how we can solve it. So in this question you need to design a data structure that can efficiently manage data packets in a network router. Each data packet consists of the following attributes: source, destination, and timestamp. What is source? Source is a unique identifier for the machine that generates the packet. Destination, a unique identifier for the target machine. Timestamp, the time at which the packet arrived at the router. So a packet is going to have three attributes: source, destination, and timestamp. Cool. And you need to implement a router class. Initializes the router object with a fixed memory limit. A router will going to have a fixed memory limit, and memory limit is the maximum number of packets the router can store at a given time. Okay, and if adding a new packet would exceed this limit, the oldest packet must be removed to free up space. Okay, if a new packet is coming up and the memory of the router is already full, then the oldest packet should be removed and then the new packet should be added in the router. Okay, let's see what is this bool add function will do. This will adds a packet with the given attribute to the router. Okay, and how, in which condition we can add? A packet is considered a duplicate if another packet with the same attributes already exist in the router, and returns true if the packet is successfully added. If it is not a duplicate, otherwise return false. Okay, so what you have a router and you need to implement an add packet function which will add a packet to the router if the size of the router is greater than memory limit. Then remove the oldest packet and then add it. Otherwise add the packet if the packet with the same attributes doesn't exist. If it already exists, then return false, otherwise return true. Okay, and you need to implement one more function, forward packet, which will forwards the next packet in FIFO, first in first out order. Remove the packet from storage. Return the packet as an array of source, destination, and timestamp. If there are no packets to forward, return an empty array. So it will basically return the packet from the router. Basically forward the packet from the router, we can say. And you need to implement one more function, get count, which will return the number of packets currently stored in the router which are not yet forwarded, that have the specified destination which you have been given here and have timestamp between start time and end time. Okay, note that queries for that packet will be made in increasing order of times. So lot of information have been given in this question. So let's see. So you have been given with a router which will store the packets, right, and removes the packet and again adds the packet in the FIFO order. So from the FIFO, what we can see that a router is going to be our queue, because from back we can add the packets, and if the size of the queue is greater than memory limit, then we will simply remove the first element and then again push that packet. So obviously our router is going to be our queue. Okay, now let's talk about the add packet function. Okay, now for the add packet function, we will need to check whether that packet already exists in the queue or not. The packet with the attribute source, destination, and timestamp is already there in the queue or not. If it is already there, then we can't. So we can't iterate in this queue again and again. So what we will do, we will simply store the packets in some data structure. But like these are the attributes SD and T. So in an unordered map, we can't create a key as a vector, and neither in an unordered set we can't create a key as a vector. So how we can store these packets which are already there in the queue? Okay, so what we can do, we create some hash with this SD and T, which will be a simple string, right? Which will be a simple string. So either we can store them in a set or map. Okay, but how we will create the hash from this SDNT? So let's say if we have some source with 1 2, destination with 2 3, and timestamp with 2 5. I'm just taking some random example. Okay, so can we just add all these strings and create a hash? Can we just do something like this? Let's see. Okay, let's say we have some other packet with source as 1, destination as 2 2 3, and timestamp as 25. Okay, so if we will add them, then it will also become 1 2 2 3 2 5. But these are two different packets, so we can't simply add the source, destination, and timestamp. Okay, but one more thing we can do is that, can we append, let's say 12s, 23d, 25t. Yeah, this is our hash. Okay, so let's try adding it in this as well. 1s, 223d, 25t. Yeah, in this way our two hashes can't be same if the packets are not same. So what we have done to create the hash is source plus s. We are just appending a unique character by the end of those values. So in this way we have got our unique hash. Okay, so let's say we are creating some unique hash and using that unique hash to store the packets so that we can check whether a new packet is a duplicate packet or not. Okay, so we will create a hash from this and we'll store that in a set, unordered set. Okay, so in this way we will be able to implement our add packet function. We will simply check if it is already there in the set, then we will return false. If it is already there, then we will return false, and otherwise we will check if the size of the queue is greater than memory limit. Then what we will do, we will remove the first element from the queue, and also see we will need to remove that element from the hash set. Okay, so we will remove that element from the hash set as well, and then we will push in the queue. Otherwise, if the size of the queue is less than memory limit, then just we will simply push that element in the queue. Cool. In this way, we will be able to implement our add packet. Okay. Now let's check for forward packet. So for forward packet, what we need to do, we need to remove, or I can say we need to forward a packet from this queue, from this router. So and router is our queue. So we will pop, if the queue is not empty, we will simply pop out that element from the queue. Okay, but we will also need to forward that element from the hash set as well, because it means that element is already forwarded. It means that element is not in our router now. So we will also need to remove that element from our hash set. Okay, in this way we will be able to implement forward packet. Okay, now let's see for get count, how we can implement this get count function. So get count will return the count of the packets with that particular destination, start time and end time, and the timestamp between start, it should be in between start time and end time. Okay, so what we can do, can we create one more unordered map, let's say, which will store the destination and all the timestamps with that particular destination. Can we do something like this? Yes. So while adding a packet in the queue, we will also update our this unordered map, which will store the destination and the corresponding timestamps with that destination. Okay, so in this way we will be able to get it. But see, while forwarding a packet as well, so whenever we are removing that packet, then also we need to remove that packet from this unordered map. Just keep that in mind. So let's take first example to better understand this question. So your memory limit is 3. Let's say your memory limit is 3 and your current packet is 1 4 and 90. Okay, so let's take 1 4 and 90, and you have three data structures. One is that queue, another is that unordered set, and another is that unordered map. Okay, so let's first take that queue. So let me create that queue, and your queue will store the vectors let's say 1490, it will store this packet. Okay, and your unordered set, let's say let me just erase it for now, I will keep it down. So let's say you have that unordered set which will store the hash. So what was the packet? 1490. So it will store 1s 4 destination 90 timestamp. Cool. And you have one more data structure which is unordered map, which will store the destination and the corresponding timestamps. Okay, let's create that as well. Unordered map which will store the destination is 94 with vector timestamp is 90. Cool. So see, we are able to add that packet in our router. It means this add packet function will return true, right? Here you can see. Now let's check for another packet. The size of the queue is still less than 3. So we can simply add that packet. But first we need to check whether that packet is already in the queue or not. So we will check it with this hash. So let's create hash 2590. It means 2s 5d 90t. Oh, these hashes are different, so we can simply add that packet in our queue 2590. And we will also need to update our unordered map with 5 destination and 90 as timestamps. And we have successfully added the packet, so it will also return true. You can see here. Now again add packet. So let's create its hash 1s 4d90t. Oh, this hash already exists in our unordered set. So it means that packet is already in the router. So we can't add this packet. It means this add packet will return false. You can see here, right? Okay, now let's take this packet 3595. So let's create the hash 3s 5d95t. Oh, okay, this hash doesn't exist. It means this packet doesn't exist in the router, so we can add it. So let's add it 3595. Now let's update it here as well. 5 is our destination, so we will update it in this vector, which will be a 95. Cool. Now this add packet will return true. You can see here. Now again add packet, but the size of the queue is already the size of the router, which is 3. So what we need to do, we will need to remove our oldest packet, which was this. So we will pop out this element from the queue, and then we will also need to remove this hash from our unordered set, and we will also need to remove this value from our map. So this will get removed, and then we will need to add that packet 4. So let's create its hash 4s 5d105t. Cool. Now let's add that packet in our queue because that packet doesn't exist. Okay, now let's update our unordered map for the destination mappings, which will become this, right? So this will return true now. You can see here. Okay, now we need to forward the packet. So what it will return? It will return this packet because this was the first one to enter in the queue. So forward packet will return 2, 5 and 90. See? So when we will forward it, it means we are removing it from the queue. If we are removing it from the queue, then we also need to remove it from this set and this map as well. So this mapping will get removed 91, right? Okay, so now let's check for another operation, which is again add packet. Now let's check for the size of the queue. Oh, it's 2, so we can simply add the packet, which is 5, 2 and 1, 1, 10. Okay, so let's create its hash 5s 2d 1, 1, 10t. Oh, this packet is not in the queue, so we can add it, which will be 5, 2, 1, 1, 10. Cool. Now let's update our map as well, which will become 2, 1, 1, 10, and it will return true. See? Now get count. So get count is the 500 and 1, 1, 10. So let's see the get count function now. 500 1, 1, 10. Okay. where 5 is the destination, 100 is the start time, and 1110 is the end time. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to iterate on the destination in this map. So 5 is our destination, so we will iterate on this one and check for each value whether that value is within S and E or not. So we will initialize let's say result to count all the packets which are within S and E. So let's check. 95 is within S and E? No, 95 is less than 100. 105 is within S and E? Yes, so we will update it. So it will finally return 1. Let's see. See, it is returning 1. So what we have done is we have created a queue as a router. We have created an unordered set to check whether that packet is already there in the router or not, and we will create a hash so that we can store the S, D and T or the attributes in that set, and we have created an unordered map to for the destination and timestamp mappings of all the packets. Okay, so let's see its code. Its code is quite similar. The approach I have explained here. It might look lengthy, but it's easy. Okay, so see, here is one queue, here is one set, and here is one map. So while adding the packet, first of all, we will create a hash and we'll check if that set already contains, then we will return false. Otherwise, if the size of the queue is already greater than or equals to max limit, then we will pop out the first packet which is there in the queue, and we will also need to remove that packet from our map. So we will remove that packet from our map and we simply insert that packet in the set, in the queue and in the map. And similarly for forward packet, if queue is already empty, it means router is empty, there is no packet, so we will simply return an empty array. Otherwise, pop out the first element from the queue, create its hash because we need to remove it from our set as well. So remove that hash from the set, remove that element from the queue, and remove that element from the map. And then for the get count, simply iterate on the map of destination and check whether that timestamp is within start time and end time. If yes, then increment the result and finally return the result. Cool. So now let's talk about its time complexity as well. So as you can see, we can make at most 10 to the power 5 calls to each of these functions, and destination and source are all 10 to the power 5, 10 to the power 5. Cool. Okay, so first let's talk about the time complexity of this add packet function. So in this add packet function, we are not doing any kind of iterations. This unordered set will take big of 1 and this queue will also take big of 1 because we are just popping out the elements. But in this, we are erasing an element from a vector. Let's see, here map is a vector of int. So here we are erasing an element from a vector. So erasing an element from a vector takes big O of n, where n is the size of the vector. So let's say if vector has k elements, so its overall time complexity will become big O of k. And let's talk about the time complexity of forward packet. So here also all other operations will remain big O of 1, but erasing an element from a vector will take big O of k if it has k elements. Okay, now here we are iterating on the destinations, and destinations, let's say if they are n something, because destinations can be up to 10 to the power 5, so it will take around big O of n complexity, and we can make at most 10 to the power 5 calls to these functions. So its overall complexity will become, I would say, 10 to the power 5 or like n into 10 to the power 5, which you will say that it should not work. Like 10 to the power 5 into 10 to the power 5 should not work. Yeah, I agree on that. But like in this case, in the contest, LeetCode might not have the worst case in their test cases. So this approach will work. That's why I have explained this approach. But yeah, here we need to optimize the complexity. Like we are iterating on a range like start time and end time. We need to find some packets which are between start time and end time. So you have been given a range. So from range we can think of something like binary search. But yeah, for this question this approach will also work. But yeah, if you want to know about this binary search approach, which is a more optimized version of this approach, then do let me know in the comments. I will surely try to make a video on that as well. But yeah, this was all for this question. I hope you get it, but if you still have any doubts, then you can post in the comment section. I will surely try to answer them. Till then, bye guys, see you in the next video.